Hello everyone, I am Dr. Vaitheeshwaran, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Aditya University. Today, I am going to deliver the lecture on the subject Database Management System. In Database Management System, at the end of this lecture, students will be able to understand about the basic concept of database and understanding about structured query language, that is called SQL. Basic database concepts. Data. What do you mean by data? Data means it is a raw fact and figures which are useful to an organization. We cannot take any decision on the basis of only the data. Information. Well processed data is called information. We can take a decision on the basis of the information. Field. Set of characters that represent a specific data element, that is called field. Record. Record means it is a collection of fields is called record. A record can have fields of different data types. Database. Database means it is a collection of logically related data along with its description is termed as database. Tuple. A row in a relation is called tuple. Attribute. A column in relation is called attribute. It is also termed as field or data item. Degree. The number of attributes in a relation is called degree of relation. Cardinality. Number of tuples in a relation is called cardinality of a relation. Primary key. Primary key is a key that can uniquely identify the records or tuples in a relation. This key can never be duplicated and null. And foreign key. Foreign key is the key that is defined as a primary key in some other relation. This key is used to enforce referential integrity in RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Candidate key. Set of all the attributes which can serve as a primary key in a relation. Alternative key. Alternative key means all the candidate keys are other than primary key of a relation or alternative key for the relation. And DBA. DBA means database administrator. He is the person or manager that is responsible for defining the database schema, setting security features in the database, ensuring proper functioning of the databases, etc. Now, we are going to discuss about structured query language. In structured query language, it is a non-procedural language that is used to create, manipulate and process the databases, that is called relations. What are the characteristics of SQL? It is very easy to use, you learn and use. Large volume of databases can be handled quite easily. It is non-procedural language. It means that we don't need to specify the procedure to accomplish a task, but just to give a command to perform activity. SQL can be linked to most of the other high-level programming languages that makes it first choice for the database programmers. The structured query language. What are the processing capabilities of SQL? The following are the processing capabilities of SQL. The first one is data definition language. DDL contains commands that are used to create the table, databases, indexes, views, sequences and synonyms. Create the table, create the view, create the index, alter the table. These are the commands we are used in DDL, data definition language. Data manipulation language. Data manipulation language, DML, it contains command that can be used to manipulate the data, base, objects and to query the databases for the information retrieval. Example, select, insert, delete, update. View. View means it contains the set of command to create the view relation. The command is create view. Another one is data control language. This language is used for controlling the access to the data. The commonly used commands are DCLR, grant and revoke. Transaction control language. Transaction control language include commands to control the transaction in a database system. The commonly used commands in TCL are commit, rollback. What are the data types of SQL? Just like any other programming language, the facility of defining the data of various data types is available in SQL also. Following are the most common types of SQL. First one, number, char, char. Third, varchar or varchar2, date, long, raw or long, raw. Number, it is used to store a numeric value in the field or column. It may be a decimal, integer or real value. General syntax is number in bracket n comma d. N specify the number of digits and d specify the number of digits to the right of the decimal point. Example, marks of 3 declares the marks to be a type of number with maximum value of 999. PCT number of 5, 2. It declares PCT to be a number of 5 digits with 2 digits of the right side of decimal point. Second one is char. It is used to store the character type of data in column. General syntax is char of size, where size represents the maximum number of characters in a column. The char data type can hold at most 255 characters. Example, name char of 25 declares a data item name of data character up to 25 size long. Varchar or varchar2. This data type is used to store variable length alphanumerical data. General syntax is varchar size or varchar2 size, which size represents maximum number of characters in a column. The maximum allowed size in this data type is 2000 character. Example, address varchar 50. Address is a type varchar up to 50 characters of long. Date. Date data type is used to store the dates in the columns. SQL supports the various data formats other than standard DD, MON, YY. Date of birth date declares date of birth to be a type of date. Long. This data type is used to store the variable line strings up to 2 GB size. Example, description long. Raw or long raw. To store the binary data, images, pictures, animation, clips, etc. For raw or long raw, data type is used. A column long raw can hold up to 2 GB of binary data. Example, image raw of 2000. Now, we are going to discuss about how to create the table with the help of create command. Create table command is used to create the table in SQL. It is a DDL type of command. The general syntax for creating table is create table, table name, column, data type, not null, unique. These are all optionals like that. And we can also mention the data table constraints column level also. Create table command. For each column, a name and a data type must be specified and the column name must be unique with the table definition. Column definitions are separated by comma. Uppercase and lowercase letters makes no difference in column names. The only place where upper and lowercase letters matters are strings and comparisons. A not null constraint means that the column cannot have null value, that is, the value needs to be supplied for that particular column. The keyword unique specify that no two tuples can have the same attribute value for this column. Now, we are going to discuss about the constraints. Constraints are the conditions that can be enforced on the attributes of a relation. The constraints come into play whenever we try to insert, delete or update or a record in a relation. The not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check, default. These are all the various constraints of SQL. Now, not null. It ensures that we cannot leave a column as a null, that is, the value has to be supplied for that column. Example, name, varchar 25, not null. That means that you have to enter the value in the particular name. Unique. Constraint means that the values under that column are always unique. Roll number, number of 3, unique. Primary key. Primary key means the constraint that column cannot have duplicate values or null values. Example, roll number, number of 3, primary key. The main difference between unique and primary key constraint is column specified as a unique key may have null value, but primary key constraint does not allow the null values in that column. Foreign key. It is used to enforce referential integrity and is declared as a primary key in some other table. Example, customer ID, varchar 5 references master of customer ID. It declares that customer ID is a column is a foreign key that refers to the customer ID field in the table master. That means we cannot insert the value in the customer ID field whose corresponding value is not present in the customer ID field of master table. And fifth one is check. Check constraint limits the values that can be inserted into a column of a table. Example, marks, number of 3, check marks greater than or equal to 0. The above statement declares marks to be the type of number, and while inserting or updating the value in the marks, it is ensured that its value is always greater than or equal to 0. Constraints, default. The default constraint is used to specify a default value to the column of a table automatically. This default value will be used whenever the user does not enter any value for that column. Balance number of 5 default equal to 0. There is one example of create table student, roll number, number of 3, primary key, name, varchar 2, 25, not null, class, varchar 10, marks, number of 3, check, marks greater than 0, city, varchar 25. In this particular table, student, primary key is roll number. The name of the student must be not null, that means that you have to enter the value, and the marks number of 3, that means it is check, greater than 0, that means marks should be always greater than 0. So today we are learned the following topics: the basic concept of database and understanding the SQL structured query language. These are the two topics today we have learned. Thank you.